Today on the Social Investing Network, are you ready to train with a UFC Pro in the Metaverse? Strap on your gloves, we've got all the details.
That's right, UFC star Amanda Nunes is launching her own UFC training gym in the Metaverse, and you can even train with the fighter herself. Great, now I can be out of shape in the Metaverse too. Plus, Warren Buffett-Backed bank adds Bitcoin trading to its app and invest in Bitcoin too. Has the Oracle of Omaha changed its tune on crypto?
And finally, the White House is stepping in to address the baby formula shortage hitting stores across the country. Is the end of the shortage near? We'll dive into all of that. And of course, subscribe below, hit the notification bell. Now let's get into it. Happy Friday, y'all. Happy Friday, everyone. Let's get into our first headline of the day. So Warren Buffett-backed digital bank adds crypto trading to its platform. Warren Buffett has been a loud opposer of cryptocurrency and said he would not get involved with the crypto, but one of his portfolio companies and the largest digital bank in Brazil has enabled its customers to purchase Bitcoin and ETH on its platform. Yes, Nubank will also add Bitcoin to its treasury, giving Buffett kind of indirect exposure to Bitcoin. The bank said it will invest up to 1% of its assets in Bitcoin. Buffett has famously been a crypto hater and recently said at his Berkshire Hathaway conference, let's look into what he said recently at his annual shareholder meeting.
Now, if you told me you owned all of the Bitcoin in the world and you offered it to me for $25, I wouldn't take it because what would I do with it? I have to sell it back to you one way or another. I mean, maybe I have the same people, but it isn't going to do anything. The apartments are going to produce rental, and the farms are going to produce food. And if I've got all the Bitcoin, I'm back where whatever his name was, who may or may not have existed, was 15 years ago. If I've got it all, he could create a mystery about it. But everybody knows what I'm like. I mean, so if I'm trying to get rid of it, people will say, well, why should I buy some Bitcoin from you? I mean, why don't you call it Buffett coin? Make your own or something. What? Do something. But I'm not going to give you anything for it.
Whoa, some hot takes there, guys. So, I mean, what do we think? I mean, Warren Buffett has been famously an opposer, but now indirectly has exposure to Bitcoin, Zaid. I mean, is that kind of flip-flopping or what do we think about this?
I mean, so he's invested in this company, Nubank, which is, one of the fastest growing fintech companies in Brazil. I'm sure Nicole will give us more details about that. But I don't think he cares that much. I mean, this as long as Nubank continues to grow, continues to become more valuable, the fact that they're offering Bitcoin and Ethereum, cool. I mean, I don't think he's gonna care or oppose that. Yeah, I guess technically his capital is now somewhat allocated towards Bitcoin because Nubank is now allocating 1% of their assets towards Bitcoin. So I guess technically he's allocating his capital to it as well. But as long as Nubank continues to grow, adds more users and makes money, I don't think Buffett will care that much about it.
Yeah, naturally, Warren Buffett is fine with investing in a company that has crypto offerings, yet doesn't believe it himself at all. Kind of a natural billionaire situation here. But yeah, obviously, Nubank, it is a massive fintech company. There's more VC dollars pouring into fintech than any other business sector on the planet. So of course he wants in. Everyone wants in. And that's fintech and Nubank are the real stars of this story, not Warren Buffett. I think Warren Buffett is just clickbait right now in this situation and all the headlines. But at the end of the day, fintech is growing, is going to continue to grow, and it's going to be a valuable place to, not investment advice, but a valuable place to look into and possibly invest in for folks. So regardless, I guess, of their beliefs in this case. For the most part, though, people invest in fintech companies because they believe in something.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you just want to get rich.
Exactly. And he mentioned something that he was like, what I like to buy things that, like he said, I could sell to someone else because it does something. And I think maybe, and I'm not even trying to say that, Warren Buffett hasn't done his due diligence, but maybe he's going to be finding more about the technologies and different things that are utilities of cryptocurrency. And maybe he'll find that appetizing. So we never know, but that's something to be watching for us.
Yeah, it's possible that if he sees the success of Bitcoin take off with the users of this app, I mean, it's possible that he'll change his tune on it, because he is known to change his mind over time. Like, he famously wasn't investing in tech companies early on in his career, and then now he's one of the biggest shareholders of Apple. So maybe he changes his mind, but yeah, I guess it is kind of ironic that, he has exposure to it now, even after just going, just dumping on them, a couple weeks ago at his annual shareholder meeting. All right, guys, there is a baby formula shortage, and now the White House is stepping in to help. So, being a new parent, is stressful enough. I have a 3-year-old. I'm not a new parent anymore, but being a parent is pretty stressful. And a lot of parents now have to deal with an additional stress, which is baby formula shortage. A lot of my friends have had babies recently, and they're kind of dealing with this issue right now. And now the White House is stepping in to help. Now, let me just first back up and tell you guys why this shortage is happening. It has to do with 3 reasons. First of all, recalls. A few months ago, the FDA issued a recall on Abbott, which is one of the biggest baby formula makers. They had to shut down a plant in Michigan. That led to supply shock. So producers of baby formulas were already making less formula because there was lower than expected demand in 2021. There's a graphic, a chart of Abbott right there. And so there was already a supply shock in 2021 because there was less demand in 2021, but there's been more demand than expected in 2022. And so there's not enough supply going around. And then finally, the last one, which I think was very interesting, I didn't know about this until I started researching into the story, was trade policy. There's a pretty stringent requirements that the FDA has on baby formula that a lot of European baby formula makers don't meet because of just technical issues like labeling requirements. And some people have said that European formulas might even be better than US-based formulas, but they're not allowed to be sold here because of just some technical issues that the FDA has. So all of this is leading to just a supply shock right now. Parents are stressing out about it. The White House is getting involved. They're trying to, hopefully speed up the reopening of the Michigan plant that Abbott had to shut down. Delano, what do you think about all this?
Zaid, I have no kids, thankfully, right now. So I take it from perspective of having nieces and nephews, and this is something that my brother actually brought up, the shortage. So there's more than 40% of the formulas are out of stock across the country, and like pediatricians are saying that we may have several more months of this. So my thing was like, what do you actually do in the situation? I'd love to ask you what your plan of attack would be in this situation, because I was reading that one, it's kind of dangerous or sticky to use something else or use a different formula, but you could potentially do that. And then if you actually see a place where there is formula available, you obviously don't want to buy too much to be selfish, but you want to have enough for your kids. But like, what do you do as an alternative in this situation?
I honestly don't know. I mean, that's very, very scary. I'm very blessed that I don't have to worry about that right now. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, definitely don't try to make your own formula at home. Like that's very dangerous, but it's a tough situation. I really, really hope that they can figure this out, because a lot of babies need formula. And again, just it's added stress to the parents.
Yeah, at least some action is being put in place to be helpful. I don't have a newborn or any kids either, but I do have a very close friend and neighbor who I have gone through, certain loops with like discounts and ways of like getting a hold of the right formula that she needs for her newborn. So I've experienced it in adjacent in a sense, and doing what I can to be a helpful friend and neighbor. But other than that, I mean, I can only imagine what this like piles on for. When I hear a story like this, I do think about, single moms. I think about working moms. I think about the women out there that were disproportionately impacted by the pandemic and are still feeling the pain of that. And hopefully the White House does some good work here to help in some of that relief.
You know what's crazy? Because I remember last year, my wife's a nurse and she works at a clinic, and she does pediatrician stuff. There literally was like an excess of baby formulas, because I remember she used to tell me like, we have so many baby formulas, extra baby formulas, and she, her friends would ask her like, hey, we need baby formula, and there'd be just loads of them just hanging out there, just ready to expire. And it's just so crazy to see how that turned just recently, from like going from an excess of baby formula just sitting there waiting for people to use to now we can't find any. So it's just crazy how like we're still kind of dealing with supply shocks from 2 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hopefully we see some change for the better happen here. But moving on to our next story, training with a UFC pro in the metaverse. UFC icon Amanda Nunes partnered up with the Sports Metaverse to offer her personalized metaverse gym training. The Sports Metaverse is the world's first VR devoted solely to sports and is built by sports icon and industry veterans from Doom, Sony, and PlayStation Home. So the Sports Metaverse allows users to trade NFTs, develop land, interact with iconic athletes in 3D, and visit metaverse stadiums. In addition, the platform is backed by rapper Nas, Dapper Labs, and obviously Dapper Labs CEO Roham Garrett Goslow. So really interesting. I mean, I love this for the metaverse. I think this is, you know, a really big use case for it. And a natural one, right? I mean, we used to like, we're transforming from like workout videos, those like almost cheesy ones on either like YouTube or I guess mostly on like, I can remember when my mom used to like plug in a VHS into a TV. Like the kids here might not remember those times, but like, and work out like that in those cheesy videos. But this is really cool to get that personalized, you know, look and feel in training. I do it myself. I love working out in the metaverse. If I can't get to my gym, I use this application right here, this game. Nice. It's called Thrill of the Fight. That's kind of what I look like there. I haven't made it to the level where I actually fight someone in an arena. I'm still in the training section because it's so realistic and like it feels so real. Great way to get a little stress relief out as well if you ever want to just, you know, punch the air and feel like you're punching someone. So apparently I got a solid right hook though. So really working on improving that.
You guys remember, a little side, do you guys remember Insanity? That was one of those crazy workout videos I was into.
Oh, gosh.
But speaking about this, I think this is really awesome. If you look at the team that you mentioned that's on it, their team that like they do, you know, they look at their credentials and the stuff they've invested in and built in the past. I love this. Is we're all on this panel, either we're workout people, we're sports people. So this is something that likens to me as far as like something I want to be involved in. And I love combat sports. So Amanda Nunes joining in on this, maybe to add other people on the platform as well. I love that boxing thing that you were showing because that's something that I love boxing. I was the chair of the boxing club at Booth for a while. So Zane, I think this is really interesting and a great application for the metaverse and VR.
Yeah, it's finally an application that I think a lot of people can actually get behind and benefit from. Is better than just putting a headset on and walking around aimlessly, right? This is actually like benefiting you. The 2 weeks that I had a Oculus, I tried doing the in-app workouts, and it was awesome. Like it was legitimately got me sweating, and I definitely saw the benefits of it. So this is taking it to the next level. And you're right, it's way better than like putting on those P90X videos or whatever, like Insanity and stuff. Like this is way better, way more immersive. And I really think that people are going to benefit from this, and hopefully this gets built out and gives people another reason to embrace the metaverse or VR, because this is just it's just better. It's better than just sitting at a screen and working out.
Yeah, it's really realistic too. Like I'm boxing someone in the metaverse, and like someone like swings at you, and it's crazy how like interactive it is. You really do like you duck and you move and you're scared and you're kind of scared a little bit. So like you get your adrenaline running and it hurts my abs and I'm like sore the next day. So anyways, really, really cool stuff.
Not to rush you, when is your first match?
Ooh, I've been like busy, so I haven't. I don't know. I guess honestly, I can actually like go to the next match if I want to. I just want to like perfectly KO the current guy because it like sends you to different people, and each person gets harder and harder, and then the setting gets like more and more intense. So and you get to the level of like being in an actual like arena like boxing competition. So anyways, I just have to like mentally evolve from
you got this
from the training session, but like those dudes are scary. Anyways, so moving on, we've seen artists, celebrities, and even businesses launch NFTs recently, but just when you thought you've seen it all, you haven't. Let's say hello to producer Danny with the most unexpected NFTs ever in today's Fresh Mints.
What's up, gang? Great to see everybody. Except Warren Buffett. What's his problem?
Man.
As you guys know, new NFTs come out daily. Everyone's talking about it. Your cousin, your mom, your uncle, everyone seems to be getting into the metaverse. But even so, I found some kooky groups you would never expect to make an NFT, and here they are. Third on our list, it's Kraft Heinz. So here's the deal. Big catch up. I guess they're trying to keep up with the times. The prez of the delicious red sauce, Carlos Abrams Rivera, said their logistics system of Kraft Heinz was hampered by COVID. And to combat this, the company created a digital twin model of its supply chain in what they call, and this is a fun one, the industrial metaverse. So supposedly the model will allow them to optimize and catch errors. Not sure what this has to do with the virtual world or people have fun new experiences, but since randomly associating things with the metaverse seems to garner headlines, well played, Kraft. I think we're still waiting on the other 56 varieties, by the way.
Honestly, I wanted to dunk on this, but like I can kind of like it kind of sounds pretty cool. Like they can like simulate all these different mistakes or errors that can happen in the supply chain using these this like virtual city that they're building. I honestly wanted to dunk on it, but I don't think I can.
I'm just not sure I see the connection to the virtual world. You know, it's like, yeah, use digital technology to optimize your supply
It's like
chain. You could have done that 20 years ago.
They're making their own Sim City, but like for their supply chains. Yeah.
I guess I'll see you in Catch-Up World, Zaid. Yeah. Number 2 on our list, it's the Vatican. Big catch-up, big religion. What's next? Big horse? Calm down, everybody. According to entrepreneur.com, the Vatican has teamed up with Sensorium and Humanity 2.0 to create a virtual exhibition based on NFTs. Father Philip Larry says the goal is to democratize art. Sounds pretty good. I'm sure we all know Vatican, many beautiful structures. I didn't know this. They are seriously hodling the original NFTs art. Various Vatican museums tote Dali's, Picasso's, Da Vinci's, Van Gogh's, and of course, the Sistine Chapel. Reportedly, these will be part of the Sensorium Galaxy Metaverse, and Forbes India reports that the Vatican will not be commercializing it, which I think is a good sign because I don't think any of us want this future. So that's a joke about a common crypto scam. Don't send any money to that address, anybody. So I won't really consider the Catholic Church in until the Pope's Twitter name is PopeFrancis.eth, but we'll see what happens.
That's funny.
Finally, topping our list at number 1. This one hurts, guys. It's doctors. To be fair, these aren't the kinds of doctors I would ever see. These are TikTok and Instagram famous physicians. Now, personally, I'm not going to see any doc whose primary identity in the world begins with the @ signs. But these MDs of DMs, these clinicians of Click, these TikTok docs have come up with an NFT project called MetaDocs. It's the kind of creativity that comes out of someone who passes the MCAT, I guess. Now, the premise here sounded pretty good. They are supposed to give folks access to medical care. And according to BuzzFeed News, it was supposed to be like a Web3 telehealth subscription. The creators behind MetaDocs spun a story where, you know, all these famous doctors were behind them and everything was going to be hunky-dory. Hippocrates, turns out they were using doctors' names not even associated with the project. Even worse, claims that this would resemble anything like a telehealth service were shot down, allegedly, as they lacked the necessary licensing to offer any kind of diagnosing, prescribing, or giving of medical advice. I didn't even have to write the zing here. Paraphrasing my guy, Dr. Ryan Marino, medical toxicologist of Cleveland, wrote, "If your kid's sick, having a surgeon famous for dancing on TikTok text you, that ain't it."
Wow. Oh man, actually, like before you got to the end part, I thought this was really cool. Like you're taking traditional professions and like making them more hip and cool. As long as you're keeping it real and certified, that would have been a cool idea, but they didn't do that.
I have a lot of doctors in my life, and I know some people that are becoming doctors right now. And they were actually talking about this project. It was on their radar. They're like, "Hey, have you seen this? Have you seen this?" I didn't know any of the stories now, Danny, but thanks for clarifying that. Now I can go back to them and be like, guys, like, be cautious.
It seems like the kind of thing where they're like, "Oh, make it an NFT." And it's like, well, yeah, you can do that, but you also still have to follow all the laws associated with the industry in question.
Exactly.
Well, that's it for me, guys.
All right,
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thanks, Danny.
Thank you, Danny.
Thanks, Danny.
All right, well, that does it for today's show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. have a good weekend. We will see you next week.
See you next week.
We out. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and be sure to tune in tomorrow.